think you're expecting this. Someone in your life is thinking about proposing to you, not one day, not eventually, not in some distant future version of things, in this season, in this moment, in the background of the life you already share with them. That is where this is quietly happening right now, right now. In this actual season, they are moving toward it. And you have absolutely no idea. You haven't even let your mind go anywhere near there. And that is exactly why this is going to catch you completely off guard when it happens. There is a quiet, settled certainty sitting underneath this entire reading. This person has been quiet about it, deliberate about it, careful about it. They have not slipped, they have not hinted, they have not given you a single visible reason to suspect any of it. And the reason you don't know is because they are waiting to do this exactly right. They are not stalling. They are not afraid. They are not second guessing themselves. They are preparing. Let's pull and see what the cards are showing. First card, Four of Wands. And I feel like this card is the entire energetic container for what this person has been quietly planning. The Four of Wands is a celebration card. It's a homecoming card. It's the energy of something private being made official and permanent in front of the people who matter. It's the card that shows up when something that has been felt quietly for a long time is finally brought into the light. This is not a casual impulse. It is not a feeling they woke up with one morning and decided to act on. This is something they have been moving toward in their own quiet, deliberate way for some time. When I look at this card, I feel a sense of complete internal readiness from their side. A readiness that you may not even know is there. It shows up when someone is ready, and the only thing left is the moment. And I feel like that is exactly where this person is right now. Like they have already made the decision inside themselves. The only real question left for them is how and when and what that moment needs to look like. The decision is already made inside them. It has been made for longer than you know, longer than you would. Longer than you would probably guess if I asked you right now. They are just carrying it quietly close to the chest until the moment is right. Next card. And this one shifts the energy from celebration into something more solemn, more intentional. This is not someone who will propose because a moment happened to feel emotionally charged. This is someone who has genuinely sat with the weight of what they're about to ask, who has not taken it lightly for a single day. About what it actually means to choose someone for the long, full, unabbreviated version of life. About tradition, about structure, about saying in front of the world that this person is the one. Who has thought about what they want to say and how they want to say it and what they need that moment to carry? I feel like they have thought carefully about the how, the setting, the words, the feeling they want to create in that moment. They want the outside of that moment to match what this already is on the inside of them. And on the inside, it already means everything to them. And that level of feeling did not arrive recently. It has been building quietly for longer than either of you has said out loud. Last card for this part, Two of Cups. And the Two of Cups is the confirmation card for this entire reading. It is two people looking at each other, clearly recognizing each other, choosing each other, without condition and without hesitation. No halfway. No, let's see how it goes. No waiting for someone better to come along. And I feel like that is exactly what is underneath everything this person is currently and quietly preparing. A full, unconditional yes that they have been holding quietly inside, getting ready to finally say out loud. And when they say it, you are going to feel the full weight of how long they have been quietly holding it. They see you clearly, more clearly, honestly, than most people in your life currently see you. Not a version of you they've constructed in their imagination, not a projection of who they hope you'll eventually be. You as you actually are in this exact moment of your life. And they have decided with full awareness of exactly who you are that you are who they want. Not a better version of you, not a more healed version, not a more figured out version, just you exactly as you are right now. This version, exactly as you are today, is who they want to build everything with. The love is real, the bond is genuinely mutual, the foundation has already been built between you. You already showed up as exactly enough. Now let's talk about your side of this completely, because there's a lot happening inside you around this connection that you may not have even fully named yet. And some of it is going to make a lot of sense when I say it out loud. First card for your energy, Four of Cups. And the Four of Cups is showing me something very specific. You have been present in this relationship, but not all the way. Not all the way into the deepest part of what this could be. Not because you don't care, not because you're checked out, but because some part of you has been holding a quiet distance. Just enough distance that if things changed, you'd still have solid ground under your feet. Just enough that if something changed or fell apart, you would still have a part of yourself that hadn't fully committed and therefore couldn't be completely undone. And I feel like you've been protecting yourself in a way you didn't even consciously decide. It just became the way you moved through this particular relationship. You show up, you are warm, you are present in most of the ways that count, but the deepest part of you hasn't fully let this land, hasn't let it become something you actually count on. And the reason you're not expecting a proposal is partly because of that. Because you haven't let yourself go far enough into this to imagine it as a possibility, you have been keeping a small part of yourself slightly outside of fully believing in this. And that small distance is a big part of why the proposal is going to surprise you. Next card, Eight of Cups. And the Eight of Cups is a card of someone who has walked away from things before. Someone who has left when things got too heavy or too uncertain or too real. And I feel like you carry that pattern quietly, not as a flaw, not as something wrong with you, but as a survival mechanism that developed over time. Something that served a real purpose once and just never got turned off completely after that. When things start to feel permanent or certain, something in you goes quiet and careful. Something in you starts noting where the exits are just to know they're there if you need them. And I feel like this person, without even knowing they were doing it, has been quietly and steadily dismantling that response in you, slowly, consistently, by simply not leaving. By staying exactly where they said they would be every single time, by being someone whose behavior matches their words every single time. And all of that quiet consistency has been doing something to you beneath the surface. Something gradual and quiet, something you haven't quite let yourself acknowledge. It has been building a kind of trust in you that you still haven't let yourself fully name or claim. Something that feels honestly like safety. Something that feels like this might genuinely be the one last card, the High Priestess. The High Priestess is specifically the card of knowing something before it is officially confirmed, of carrying a truth before it is handed to you, of sitting with something you sense clearly but haven't quite let yourself trust fully. And I feel like that is exactly where you are. Some part of you has already known this person is different from anyone before them. That knowing has been there for a while now, but you have been quietly talking yourself out of it, minimizing it, not giving it the room it actually deserves, because letting it be completely real means letting yourself be fully inside it. And being fully inside something means it can really genuinely hurt if it ends. So you have been keeping one foot just slightly outside. Un in hand on the wall, just in case, watching carefully, noticing everything without fully committing to what you are already seeing right in front of you. But here's what the cards are saying to you directly. The thing you've been afraid to believe in is actually genuinely real. The person you've been quietly hoping is the one, and the proposal you never once let yourself imagine is actually coming. And the only thing left for you now is to let yourself actually receive it, without immediately looking for what's wrong with it, without making yourself smaller to manage the fear of losing it, without scanning for what's going to go sideways, because it is not too good to be true. It is just genuinely good, and you are genuinely allowed to have something that is simply cleanly good. And you have been so used to bracing for the shift that you almost missed how consistently steady this person actually is. Now we flip completely over to their side because I want to spend this entire part looking at them, at what has been moving inside them, what drove this decision, and what kind of person plans something like this without saying a word. Let's pull for them first card, the Emperor. And the Emperor is immediately telling me who this person is at their core. This is someone who is structured, intentional, and deeply committed to what they build. They do not do things halfway, and they do not say things they don't mean. They do not make decisions impulsively and then walk them back. When they decide something, it is because they have already sat with it long enough to arrive at a certainty that doesn't waver. And I feel like that is exactly what has been happening around you. They have been watching you not in a suspicious way, but in the way that someone watches a person they are seriously considering choosing. Noticing how you handle hard things and the small things too. Noticing how you show up when it genuinely costs you something to show up. Noticing the parts of you that you don't perform for anyone. The parts that simply exist without any performance behind them. And everything they have been quietly noticing has been moving them in one clear direction. The Emperor is also a card of someone who has failed at something before, someone who once built something or committed to something that didn't hold the way they needed. And that experience changed how they move toward people. Not closed off, but careful in a way that matters. Deliberate in a way that people who have never been burned usually aren't. And I feel like they made a very quiet decision a long time ago that the next time they chose someone, they would choose with all of it. Not just the feeling, the full, honest picture, and you have been providing that picture quietly just by being who you are. Next card, Knight of Pentacles, and the Knight of Pentacles is the most patient card in the entire deck. This is someone who moves slowly, but moves with absolute certainty. They are not flashy, they are not dramatic, they don't announce things before they're ready. They just keep showing up, keep building, keep moving steadily toward what they have already decided. And I feel like that is exactly how they have been moving around this proposal specifically. No rushing, no performing, no telling a single person before the moment is actually right. Just quiet, deliberate movement towards something they made up their mind about. The Knight of Pentacles also speaks to someone who shows love through action, not just words. Someone who demonstrates their commitment by being reliable, by following through, by being exactly who they said they would be. And I feel like that is who this person has been to you. The consistency you may have taken for granted, that is intentional. That is them loving you in the language they know how to use. That is them building something with you, one day at a time without making noise about it. Last card, Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is the emotional truth underneath everything. It is a new beginning in the heart space, an overflow, something so genuinely full it needs somewhere to go. And when I look at this card for them, I feel something I want to take a moment to describe carefully. They are not proposing because it is simply the logical next step in a relationship timeline. They are not proposing because of outside pressure, or because they feel like it's time, or because someone asked when they're going to do it. Because something inside them has become genuinely and completely full. Because being with you has opened something in them that they genuinely did not know was closed before you. And they want to make sure that in any version of the future, you are never at a distance they cannot reach. Because proposing, truly proposing, is an enormous act of exposure. You are handing someone the ability to say no to the most important question you have ever asked out loud. And this person is preparing themselves to go through with it anyway, not because they are unaware of that risk, but because to them the risk of staying silent is significantly bigger. The risk of losing you to time passing, to things being assumed but never confirmed, to never having said it out loud, that is the thing they genuinely cannot sit with. So they are going to ask with absolutely everything they have, and they are hoping quietly, privately, that you already know what your answer is, because some part of them has quietly felt like you do. And in the next part, we look at exactly how they are planning to do this and what changes the moment they do. Now we get into what is actually about to happen, because things are moving, and I want to show you exactly how first card, Wheel of Fortune. And the Wheel of Fortune is the card I love seeing in this position, because the timing has completely moved out of anyone's hands. Neither of you is controlling this anymore. The cycle has completed enough, the energy has peaked, and something is about to turn. This is not a card about effort or strategy. It is not about forcing a moment or engineering the right conditions. It is about a turn that happens because it is simply time both of you have been orbiting something without fully landing inside it, and that orbit is coming to an end. Something is going to crack this wide open between you, and I feel like it is genuinely coming soon. I also feel the wheel speaking very directly to your public life in this reading, because the wheel does not only govern love, it governs every cycle at once. And the same energy turning in this connection is turning in how the world sees you. Something you have been quietly and consistently working on is about to gain real traction. An audience that has been slowly forming around what you do is about to grow significantly faster. A recognition that has been building slowly is about to arrive all at once, and both are arriving in the same season. They are part of the exact same turn of the wheel. You don't need to do anything to make it happen. Just be present and ready when it arrives. Next card, the Magician. And the Magician is the card of someone who has everything they need and is ready to use it. Every resource, every tool, every piece of what is required is already on the table. And I feel like this card is speaking to both of you separately. For them, the Magician is the moment they stop planning and start doing. The proposal stops being something they are planning and becomes something they are doing. The exact words get chosen. The moment gets identified, the decision becomes action, and I feel like that shift is very imminent. The preparation has gone on long enough now. They are ready. Something tips them into the doing phase very soon. For you, the Magician is different. It is the moment you stop holding yourself slightly outside of this and step fully into it. The moment you stop managing your feelings and let them be as big as they are. Because the truth is, you are ready for this. You have always been ready for this. The only thing that has been keeping you from feeling that is the quiet distance you've been maintaining, and that distance is about to collapse. Not because you force it, but because what this person is about to do makes holding back completely impossible. You will not be able to stay at the edge of this any longer. What they offer is going to pull you all the way in. Last card, Three of Cups. And the Three of Cups is a celebration card, but not a quiet one. It is the energy of joy that spills out, of something good being shared, of people around you feeling what you feel. And I feel like this is the aftermath of what they are about to do. The moment after the question is asked, the moment after the answer is given, there is going to be a joy in you that you won't be able to contain. Not just happiness, a relief, a releasing of something you have been holding tightly without realizing it. The Three of Cups also speaks to people around you being affected by this. People in your life are going to notice something different about you. Something lighter, something more open, something like a person who finally gave themselves permission to believe in something wonderful. And that energy is going to ripple. It is going to touch more than the relationship alone. It is going to show up in your work, in how you carry yourself, in the way you create. And that is where the popularity piece comes back in. Because when you are fully present in your life, when you are not holding any part of yourself in reserve, you become genuinely magnetic, and people feel that they are drawn to it without knowing exactly why. So what is about to happen between you and this person is not just personal. It is going to change the frequency you operate at. And the world around you is going to respond to that frequency differently. This part is about what lives underneath everything, the things they feel that have never made it into words, the stuff that lives below the surface of every conversation you've had, the confessions they have been carrying quietly, the ones they rehearse and then decide not to say. Let's pull first card, the Lovers. And when the Lovers comes out in this position, I always feel something shift in the reading. Because the Lovers is not just attraction, it's not just chemistry, it is a recognition. It is two people who, when they get quiet enough to be honest, already know. And I feel like that is exactly what this person has been quietly carrying around you, a knowing they have held for a long time without saying it directly. When they are alone, when the noise of everything has settled, they think about you. Not casually, not the way you think about someone you simply like, the way you think about someone who has gotten into the part of you that you keep protected. I also feel like they think about your laugh specifically, the sound of it, the way your whole face changes when something genuinely catches you off guard, and those specific things come back to them without any permission. While they are working, while they are driving, while they are in the middle of something entirely unrelated, and it stops them. Just for a moment, it stops them because they are thinking about you, and when they do, it lands the same way, like something warm and certain settling in the chest. Something certain. The lovers also carry something about a choice they have already made privately. They are not wondering whether they love you. They are not questioning whether you are the right person. They made that decision a long time ago, quietly, without ceremony. What they have been quietly figuring out is how to make the outside match the inside, how to take something they know to be completely and entirely true and say it in a way that actually does it justice. Next card, King of Cups. And the King of Cups is one of the most emotionally deep cards in the entire deck. It is someone who feels everything fully, but carries it with a quiet steadiness on the outside. And I feel like this is showing me exactly who this person is beneath the composed exterior. They feel more than they show. They have felt more around you specifically than they have ever let on. There have been moments where they wanted to say something and didn't, where the feeling got so large it almost came out on its own, and they pulled it back at the last moment, not because they don't mean it. Because words said in the middle of a feeling sometimes don't land the way they're meant to. They want you to hear it clearly. And I feel like there are very specific things they have wanted to say to you. Things like, I have never felt this safe with someone before. Things like, I did not know it could feel this easy. Things like, I think about the future and you are already in it without me having to place you there. Those are the kinds of things sitting inside them right now, unspoken, but so present they almost take up physical space. Last card, Nine of Cups, and the Nine of Cups is specifically the wish card. It is the card of someone sitting in front of exactly what they have always wanted, watching it slowly become real. And I feel like that is what this person experiences when they think about asking you. This is the thing they have been quietly wishing for without fully letting themselves admit how much they want it, to have someone to choose and to feel certain in their bones that the choosing is right, to have someone who makes them feel like the version of themselves they want to be. And I feel like you are that for them. You have been that for longer than they have said. The physical piece is in this card too. There is a warmth they feel when they are around you that is not only emotional, when you are close, when you are in the same space. Something in their body responds, something settles and sparks at the same time, and they have not spoken about that either. But it is there steady every single time, and the Nine of Cups says the wish is on the verge of becoming the ask. The thing they have been quietly hoping for is about to be handed to you as a question, and they are terrified in the best possible way, because this is the one thing they actually want, and they are ready to place it entirely in your hands. And in the final part, we look at how this all resolves and what is waiting on the other side of yes. We are in the final part of this reading now, and I want to close it the way it deserves to be closed, with what is actually waiting for you. Not a maybe, not a we'll see. What the cards are clearly showing me about where all of this goes. First card, the Sunday. And when the Sunday comes out as the closing energy, I feel something settle because the Sunday is clarity of things becoming clean and visible. It is the end of confusion, the end of wondering, the end of the quiet questions. Things become visible that were previously obscured. And I feel like that is exactly what is coming for you. The not knowing, the circling, the holding your breath, all of that ends. Something is said, something is done, something is offered that removes every remaining question mark. And what replaces all of it is warmth. A real, felt warmth that settles deep in your chest and simply stays. I also feel the Sunday speaking very directly about visibility in a broader sense in this reading, because the Sunday does not only illuminate personal things, it illuminates everything at once. And I feel like around the same time this person steps forward, something significant in your public life steps forward too. A recognition that has been quietly forming around you, an audience that has been patiently and quietly waiting, a version of you that has been building quietly in the background, now genuinely ready to be fully seen. And I feel like the moment you say yes to this person, something inside you unlocks. Something that has been held back, slightly protected, slightly contained, begins to move freely. And that movement shows up everywhere in your work, in your presence, in everything you put into the world. The Sunday is the card of someone who is no longer quietly hiding any part of themselves. And that is who you are becoming. Next card, Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles is one of the most significant cards I could ever see closing a reading like this. Because the Ten of Pentacles is not a moment. It is not a feeling or a season or something that comes and goes. It is a life, a real, built, lasting life. Something constructed with care over time that becomes the foundation everything else stands on. And I feel like that is what this relationship is oriented toward. Not just love in the temporary sense, not just a connection that feels good for now. Something that lasts, something you look back on from many years away and quietly recognize as the moment that changed everything. The Ten of Pentacles also carries the energy of abundance, of things being enough, of genuinely not having to want for the things that actually matter anymore. And I feel like this person is bringing that into your life, not just emotionally, but in the practical, tangible, day to day sense. A real stability you can feel specifically in your body, not just something you understand in your mind. A quiet, settled sense of this is mine, this is genuinely real, and it is absolutely not going anywhere. Last card, Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is a new beginning, but not a fragile one, not a tentative one, a solid one, a beginning that has roots in it from the very first moment. Something that arrives with weight and realness and the feeling of, yes, this is it. And I feel like that is what the proposal represents for you. Not just a romantic gesture, not just a beautiful moment you will remember, a door opening into a version of your life that is more stable, more full, more grounded than the one you have been living. A beginning that holds. And I want to leave you with something very specific before I close this reading out. You came into this not expecting any of this. You were not sitting here with your hands open, ready to receive any of this. You were protecting yourself quietly, the way we all do when something matters too much to lose. But the cards are showing me very clearly that what is coming is not something you need to protect yourself from. It is something you have been quietly waiting for, even if you did not know that is what you were waiting for. Say yes to this person, not just to the proposal. Say yes to the life they are offering you. Say yes to being fully seen by someone who has already decided with certainty that you are worth choosing, and say yes to yourself most of all, to the version of you that gets to stop racing and start receiving. Because what is coming toward you right now is not too good to be true. It is just entirely yours. Not a maybe, not a we'll see. What the cards are clearly showing me about where all of this goes. First card, the Sunday. And when the Sunday comes out as the closing energy, I feel something settle because the Sunday is clarity. Of things becoming clean and visible. It is the end of confusion, the end of wondering, the end of the quiet questions. Things become visible that were previously obscured. And I feel like that is exactly what is coming for you. The not knowing, the circling, the holding your breath, all of that ends. Something is said, something is done, something is offered that removes every remaining question mark. And what replaces all of it is warmth, a real, felt warmth that settles deep in your chest and simply stays. I also feel the Sunday speaking very directly about visibility in a broader sense in this reading, because the Sunday does not only illuminate personal things, it illuminates everything at once. And I feel like around the same time this person steps forward, something significant in your public life steps forward too. A recognition that has been quietly forming around you, an audience that has been patiently and quietly waiting, a version of you that has been building quietly in the background, now genuinely ready to be fully seen. And I feel like the moment you say yes to this person, something inside you unlocks. Something that has been held back, slightly protected, slightly contained, begins to move freely. And that movement shows up everywhere in your work, in your presence, in everything you put into the world. The Sunday is the card of someone who is no longer quietly hiding any part of themselves. and that is who you are becoming. Next card, Ten of Pentacles. And the Ten of Pentacles is one of the most significant cards I could ever see closing a reading like this. Because the Ten of Pentacles is not a moment. It is not a feeling or a season or something that comes and goes. It is a life, a real, built, lasting life. Something constructed with care over time that becomes the foundation everything else stands on. And I feel like that is what this relationship is oriented toward. Not just love in the temporary sense, not just a connection that feels good for now. Something that lasts, something you look back on from many years away and quietly recognize as the moment that changed everything. The Ten of Pentacles also carries the energy of abundance, of things being enough, of genuinely not having to want for the things that actually matter anymore. And I feel like this person is bringing that into your life, not just emotionally, but in the practical, tangible, day-to-day sense. A real stability you can feel specifically in your body, not just something you understand in your mind. A quiet, settled sense of, this is mine, this is genuinely real, and it is absolutely not going anywhere. Last card, Ace of Pentacles. And the Ace of Pentacles is a new beginning, but not a fragile one, not a tentative one, a solid one, a beginning that has roots in it from the very first moment. Something that arrives with weight and realness and the feeling of, yes, this is it. And I feel like that is what the proposal represents.